Hello, hello. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. I'm just going to wait a minute or two. I'm just going to put on my, turn off my camera for a second. Oh, there's 4 people in here. How exciting. Hi, guys. Not sure who's in here at the moment, but hi, Samantha Stevens. Welcome. Wandering Scorpio. Hello, I'm glad you made it today. Definitely. This is good. Have you been watching all the Michelle drama? It is swallowed wrong. Oh my gosh. What a show that has been. It really has been. I'm just kind of laughing because every time I think about it, when I put like a title to my video or what I want to talk about, I can share how it could potentially relate to her directly. So it's really interesting because she is so identifiable, whether it's her voice or the way her appearance is and things like that. I think she can truly be a beautiful woman, but she can't be a beautiful woman until she takes care of what's on the inside, because it radiates. Even if you have an appearance of being beautiful, if you are ugly on the inside, that ugly will radiate throughout you yourself. But I think I need to grab a Kleenex, so I will be right back. Sorry. Maggie, what'd you do with the Kleenex? Whoops. Sorry, guys. I don't want to really blow my nose in front of all of you. But I'm popping back in. Sorry, I think that's why I was coughing. I was drinking this special drink I have, and Fiji is just the kind of water I prefer to drink, but I reutilize the bottles to make tea, and I'm waiting on my loaded tea from Just Keep It Real. And man, what a difference. It really is. This stuff has like an aftertaste, and they have good flavors, but once I've had better, this doesn't even cut it at all. But I'm just curious, can you all hear me okay? I'm sure people are flying in and out to see. This is probably what I wore the other day too. Oh no, maybe not. I'm not sure. I have shorts on. I had a tank top on, and I'm like, it's a little chilly out today, but it's nice. I mean, I consider 60 something to be chilly cold, but I like to be warm. I like 80 degrees. And yes, I live in Wisconsin. I have to accept that. Hey, Just Keep It Real. I was just making a comment about you. I'm sure you heard your ears ringing. I have to show you this. Just Keep It Real. Do you remember this color flavor? Some mango, whatever. I just mixed it up and I let it sit for a little bit. and all the floaties were still on the top. It like didn't dissolve like your loaded tea cocktails that you put together for us to drink or for human consumption. I know. So yours are way better than this, but we're just waiting on our order from Just Keep It Real. I was kind of um, late in putting in my order when we were like out, as opposed to like a week or 2 weeks ahead of schedule. I was kind of late this month. You were late because you were making the tea of the day. Are you gonna? Oh no. So if you want, if somebody could just keep it real, if you could drop in there, if you want to know more about the tea of the day, Just Keep It Real has it for her members. She makes a different loaded tea every day, and it's pretty awesome. And then she has her own little small business right out of her kitchen where she crafts the teas and then she sells them to the public. And they're not just energizing type teas, but they're good for you, like vitamin C and vitamin B. So you get a lot of nutrition. I shouldn't say nutrition, but I'll call it nutrition because it sounds like it's nutritious to me. If you're talking about B's and C's, just like grade in school, those things were good for you. So, hey, Fancy, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. And then here is little Wandering Scorpio. I'm asking, do you have like a Scorpio kind of personality like me, which is kind of spicy because I'm a Scorpio and I kind of am. And I say things just like they are. So when I was putting together, um, thinking through what I was going to talk about today, um, I sometimes have to remember I can't always say what I think. And like, Just Keep It Real would say, hey, just keep it real. Just keep it real. And I do. And I'm learning. A lot of my subscribers are from the South. And you all say things so sweet and so kind. And I mean, I'm super sweet and kind, but I have a little bit more not always so sweet. Oh my gosh, Wandering Scorpio. It isn't kinda. I always say that. I say things like that too. Kinda, not really. Or kinda, sorta, not really. Yes, just keep it real. I'm sweet and kind, but also blunt. I see it, I say it like I see it. And and my face, if I can't say it, you'll read it in my face. Very much so. But what I wanted to talk to you all about today is the title is Don't Sell Yourself Short. And one of the ways, and I'm only going to talk about one of the ways today because we can also mix this in with the way we see the Michelle saga continue. It's people, like when I say don't sell yourself short, you have to, it's all about how you present. So let's say I am going into a gas station, right? I want to get a bottle of water because I was not prepared, or I need, to pick up some butter or bacon or whatever. That's what our gas station sells. You will never see me walk in there without like my hair combed, look dressing accept ex, acceptable. You'll never see me run into the gas station with my pajamas on kind of look. Or hence you won't see me looking like a trash bag. And yes, my name is Spicy. It is because I have a spicy personality. Exactly. Just like Wandering Scorpio here. Exactly. Yep. Kind of, sort of, not really. But the way I look about it is you always need to present. Think about in your mind, you walk into a gas station. When you walk out of that gas station or even to the supermarket, I live at the gas station. Oh my gosh, it's my lifestyle. Steve and my son are at the gas station here in Wisconsin. We have Quick Trips, which is more popular ever than um, a fast food restaurant. Like McDonald's, Quick Trip, hands down. Steve's there like twice a day and dropping $15-$20 twice a day. I'm like, what did you get? Well, I needed food, and then I needed bottled water to make teas. And I'm like, well, I wash out your bottles. So, oh yeah, that's right. You're a trucker. Well, if you're in Wisconsin, Quick Trip is the bomb. It really is. And I forgot about that. Just keep it real. And I think that I got I got this look from the west side of St. Paul. When you're in Wisconsin, check out Quick Trip. I don't know I don't know. And typically it's all men. Like, I don't remember what any of these men look like that are going into the gas station any time of day. The gas station is packed with people. A lot of construction workers, just like my son, all wearing the, fluorescent green shirts, and people getting gas, and people are running in and out, in and out. Usually I'll have Steve run in if I need something from inside, just because I just can't, because I say what I think. And if I see, even a teenager or a young adult or even not an adult with their boxers hanging out of their pants, and this is like the male population, not to pick on them, however, it puts me over the edge. And I'm like, could you please pull up your pants? And then they like turn to look, and then they don't see me until they look down. I think it's hilarious, but my son gets embarrassed. Mom, please don't say nothing. Like, he'll see if we're like at Target or someplace. Mom, don't say nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is what I do. Mom, don't say anything. So, oh yeah, and like, I love you, Susie. Don't worry. Remember my wild ways. I work out of Chicago. Oh yeah, not too far. Absolutely. I live in southeastern Wisconsin, outside of Milwaukee, actually on the west side. Just keep it real, grabbing snacks on the go. Yeah, but why do they have to spend so much money on snacks? I could get those same snacks, let's say from Costco, spend $75, and those snacks would probably last maybe 2-3 weeks. When they spend that within 3 days combined, drives me crazy. I just don't understand that mentality of living in a gas station. Sorry, wandering spirit, but I'm sure you spend a lot of money inside the gas station too. And you know which ones are good, that have really good food. You take watermelons from Tufton, Georgia to Minneapolis sometimes. Oh, Tifton. Oh, yeah. I think I know somebody from Tifton area, actually. Yeah, definitely. And you're in Victoriaville, California. Wow. I give you a lot of credit. I don't know how. And it's probably exciting. You get to see beautiful scenery that has, you know, the creation that God has created, whether you're driving through Tennessee, which I think is incredibly beautiful, and Georgia is beautiful, and some of the big cities like New York City. I love New York City. It's fun, it's easy. I have no problems there. I find it to be very safe. Same with downtown Chicago. It just depends where you go and the choices that you make. Really, it does. But I bet if any one of you would run into me, let's say you had no clue who I was, what I looked like, or anything of that nature, and you walked into a supermarket and you saw me, you would remember me. I'm sure. You probably don't remember who else was in the grocery store. Women will remember clothing, shoes, sunglasses, hats, all sorts of different things. Guys don't notice, but they're going to notice what I feel that they don't notice, but they probably do. But if I was in there, oh my gosh, you'll never believe it. I saw a little person in the grocery store today. And yeah, like if I were to go to Tifton, like just keep it real has been many times in your life and it's super small town. Have you ever seen a little person there? Or if you did, would you remember by the time you walked out of that community? And wondering, did you see any peanut fields when you were near Tifton? I don't think I have never seen peanut fields. I've seen cotton fields, which is really a big um, growth in New Mexico where my in laws live. And that's very interesting. Cotton fields on one side of the highway, the pecan trees on the other side, and then you'll see all the chili farms everywhere. It's really pretty. And they must grow really good, like in the deserty kind of area. But like Wandering Scorpio said right here, he would not remember if he drove. I'm expecting any peanut fields because maybe peanut fields aren't something you were looking for. But if it was an odd looking thing, you would remember. Not that I'm odd looking, let me tell you, but it was Texas has, yes, Texas does have a lot of cotton fields on the high plains. Yes, and that's just like in New Mexico, where you raised your family. We had a little person family. They grew up with my kids. They were just normal for us. Everyone loved them. They were a great family. Yes. But see, you remembered that family, and I'm sure you would remember if their family didn't necessarily blend in. Like, let's say one of their children wore a red hat every day to school. Every day, you would remember that one of their children wore a red hat. Just like my son, when he was in kindergarten all the way through middle school, he had a kid in his class. He wore a bow tie every day, except when he started with football. Football, I think he lasted a week. The poor guy, the kid. And I said to my son, you know what? I would not even recognize him without his bow tie because he always did. I wouldn't remember because little people are normal to me. We are. Very normal. I don't always notice. I more notice them um, living, how do I say, sitting, eating in a restaurant because I notice their arms. And because I never really pay attention to people necessarily, but I do pay attention. But I'm more interested in what people are wearing, that's for sure. One of their sons was on the wrestling team with my oldest son, and he was good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my son wrestled in high school. It was fun. And they do good because they have the lower center of gravity. So like average size kids, like when my son would be up for a match, the kid who is wrestling was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So because I kind of one day would like to be monetized someday, I don't want to use the F word because that pops out of my mouth a lot. Oh, Wandering Spirit. Definitely. You can go ahead, jump to channels. Love you all. We love you and thank you very much. I love seeing you in here. I wouldn't remember because I don't pay close attention to something like that. Oh, well, you'd remember me because I'd probably make your head spin there, Samantha Stevens. Because I'd be so stinking cute. You'd be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I know, it's so funny. I'm just giving you a hard time. So, but one of the things that I've always, and yes, I'm a very confident individual, and I've worked in, corporate America. Anyone average a little will be remembered by me if they act like as is. Yes. And that's kind of how I view presentation and how you present yourself. Um, if you present yourself as a wackadoodle by dressing like a wackadoodle or acting as such, people are going to remember that. And I always make this comment, and I have never. The comment is that I say is you never know where you're going to meet your next $1,000,000. Well, I've never seen $1,000,000, but I don't know why I use the word next. But I've always been about presenting just in case. Let's say I ran into that guy with $1,000,000 at the gas station and and 2 months later, I'm interviewing for a job and he's my potential employer. If I would have looked like I just got out of bed, looking like a slob or a wackadoodle, he'd be like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Didn't I see you in the gas station like 2 months ago? I, based off of this. And I would probably say, oh, yeah, like it's acceptable to be that way. But I love wearing my shorts and tank tops, which I do when I go out and about, but I always need to make sure I have a clean tank top on without spots on it and clean clothes and look cute. I try to put cute shoes on and all of that kind of thing. And it's really interesting to say that how you look and how you present means so much to you. To me, it really does. It means a lot to me. And even when I was in corporate America and I would interview people, even though we our corporation, after a while, was kind of like business casual, meaning you don't have to wear a suit with a tie. But like senior management always wore a suit and a tie, but everybody else. And that if somebody came in with their clothes a wreck, or they were smoking weed before they came for their interview, I'd be like, I can't even do this. I just sit there, because if they don't care enough to make themselves presentable with like iron clothes, not even iron clothes, they literally looked like they, rolled out of bed, and they looked and they smelled like they've been smoking weed for a month. And I thought to myself, wow, how am I going to be able to work with this? It's a shower. Don't call it. Oh my gosh. Wandering Scorpio, you're so funny. It's a shower curtain. So that's what you were wearing the other day. But it's really, and it's not because, and it doesn't matter if you have money or no money. No matter how much money someone has, you can look nice and presentable and present yourself well. You can keep your home clean and organized. Just because you don't have money doesn't mean that you can't have a nice home. And oh, it's all right. But why you can remove them, hon? I don't know. Oh, he can remove his own comments. But yeah, you can. This is like something else, I think. You can remove the trash out of your home. You really can. And you can remove the trash out of your life, because how you represent yourself makes a huge difference in how you are going to represent outside of here. And I can tell you this right now. Just keep it real said, her kids grew up in a community and went to high school with a little family. That if a little person in that same community had done something illegal, was arrested, I'm sure there's thoughts like, oh my gosh, do I know them? But if there's a wackadoodle, yes, I am. I'm talking about wackadoos or wackadoodles. But like you're right, Michelle can't remove the trash from her home. She can't, because she can't remove the trash out of her, at now on the inside. She needs to be mentally healthy, and we need to be mentally sharp and not. So, how do we all remember Michelle? Because she was that person who would jump on people's lives drunk. She was really entertaining, and part of her entertainment was her crazy drunken self, and she always had banter going on, or arguments, or repeating herself 500 times, or being so narcissistic that she couldn't even remember the lies that she had said. Because after a while, you don't remember those things. And then things that come out of your mouth, like one of the things I remembered her. Now, there's things about being credible, and I had to take a listen, but when I listened to her, like in the hospital video when she was there, to me, she looked like maybe, her nose was broken. I'm just telling you appearance of. But when I looked at it, it looked like she had been sleeping in eye makeup for days. because I'm kind of looking, see if there's swelling around the eyes, seeing if the eyeballs are red, that kind of thing. And then today, I watched something from last night on Ski Mask channel, and her and I zoomed really in, and I'm like, nope, her eyes look normal. But you would think if you broke your nose that all of this would be all bruised somewhere around here. And then when she made the comment about her 13th rib, okay, this is what I know, unless she is somebody that God has created so different. But humans have 12 sets of ribs, like one on each side, but they kind of go around to the back as well. And I was just like, 13th rib. When a doctor is reading to you, it would be your rib, like your 6th rib on your left or your right. It wouldn't be like, yes, 13 comes after 12 rows of ribs. Exactly. Okay. In skis today, she revealed ATN got her engagement ring from a podunk jeweler in Columbus. She told Molly Pryor ATN had the Tiffany experience. Exactly. Yep, I remember that too. That's one of those lies. She doesn't remember what she said or that she's keeping on it. It's just one of those things. And like, how do you not remember? Why is it so important? So if she went to a podunk jeweler and he was able to provide a beautiful ring, uh, why would you say it's something it's not? The Tiffany experience, in my opinion, don't get me wrong, I love going to the Tiffany store in New York City. Love, love, love it. But everything is so expensive. Expensive. And um my daughter, her senior year in high school, they went to New York City for her art class. And I said, if you're going to buy yourself one souvenir, go to Tiffany. Go to Tiffany's. They have beautiful, relatively sterling silver necklaces, and you can keep that necklace forever and remember when you went on your trip to New York. It was so, that experience. But New York City's flagship store is in New York City. And why not? Why do we need souvenirs? I don't need souvenirs from anywhere else. She didn't need to buy clothes because you can get New York sweatshirts off, Amazon if you wanted to. And like Just Keep It Real said, and Gigi, aka Gotti Girl, for those of you who don't know, came on Ski's panel saying a nurse read her x-ray results. Like, what? That didn't happen. Only doctors are qualified to deliver these. The lies are atrocious. And a lot of times from my hospital experience over the 50 times I've probably been there with a kid or myself or the kid. Um, the doctor would read you those results. And then a nurse may try to explain it to somewhere else, but nowhere in that conversation did it talk about the word fractured vertebrae, plural. Could be like old, because MRIs show everything. It doesn't mean it's actually fractured, but it could also mean that at some point in your life, it could be fractured, or you could have fractured it. But I can tell you from my own humanly experience that any type of vertebrae issue is nothing to mess around with. And I swear I heard Michelle, this is my hearing, but maybe I didn't understand this, that her C13 um, vertebrae was fractured. Okay, first of all, there's only C, um, there's total of 7. And if it was fractured, most likely it would be hitting some nerve and it would make you pretty much paralyzed. Like that's the section which is your cervical, which is your neck issue. And from what I understand is that is the area that would paralyze you. And then the lower you go down through the thoracic and the lumbar area, you can have very difficulties in your lower part of your body and movement, and it can impact your bladder and all those things. But definitely the doctor must deliver the results first. The nurse can then answer questions about it after you are exactly correct. The nurses do not read results. Nope, they don't. They make, and if you didn't ask the doctor, like having maybe your T13 vertebrae was fractured. I mean, that's a lot of difference than C, because they probably would have said your cervical 7 or your thoracic 13. That's kind of more what they would have said. The doctors would have said that. And so I'm not sure about any of that. And to move, I know Just Keep It Real has had rib issues, and so have I. You wouldn't be able to, it would hurt just to think about breathing. You couldn't even use your phone to keep up. I was watching her today in Ski's chat because that's what she was doing, and she was blowing up his chat. If your ribs hurt, I mean, to move your arms and move your fingers would be excruciating painful, don't you think? Yes, I agree with you. Just keep it real. Radiology reads results and then give the results to your doctor, not nurses. LOL. Fact. Yes, 100% fact. Yep. So her presentation of herself, even when you go into the hospital, and yes, you're not going to get all dressed up and fancy, but how you handle yourself in a hospital type of setting, being coherent, alert, you're in the emergency room. Why are you here? Because I needed to charge my cell phone, or I needed to make a cell phone call. And when I was in rehab, I couldn't do that. And blah, blah, blah. There's all sorts of reasons why people go to the emergency room. It's crazy. I saw a lot of it when my daughter was there. It's crazy. And the way people present themselves, not even necessarily what they wear, because an emergency room situation would then, be a little different if it was in the middle of the night and you had blood all over, or your family member. Doctors and nurses remember all that. They really do. They look at you. Like, oh my gosh. And Just Keep It Real said, my best friend is a nurse. We discussed this today. She told me, and I am not allowed to deliver results, I'd be fired. And she's a surgical nurse for an orthopedic surgeon, bones, LOL. Yes, I don't think, nope. my orthopedic surgeon told me about what was going on with my hip. A nurse just made sure that, I had my after visit summary. If I had questions, a lot of times, like, I had questions about medication and frequency. She'd be like, hey, let me see if your doctor's still here. If you have questions about whatever it was, they gave you the number to call the doctor's office when you were discharged. And but I can tell you, with a rib situation, there's no way she'd be like, because you have to breathe and it probably hurts, and you're trying to find a position that's the best position for your rib cage. And I know how that is. I've been in that situation, and and the only thing nurses can get away with delivering is positive pregnancy tests. And even that, a doctor must confirm. I agree. Most definitely. But the first time I saw Michelle on a panel was when she was on Molly Golightly's channel, and she looked like a hot mess, talking about herself being a rope expert. And when you look at somebody, you can tell by looking at them. And of course, she had her face and she was looking into her camera. A lot of times, whether what the things were truthful and if she was at her best. But yeah, from that moment on, because that was the way she presented herself. All we have ever seen is her going downhill from there. My last ER visit was by ambulance due to an intestinal blockage. I went straight into a treatment room and I looked as horrible as I felt. I'm sure you did. But you know what, Samantha? Even though you probably hunched over in pain and couldn't breathe and couldn't move and your stomach was probably out like you were pregnant with twins. And I know you're a tiny little thing and it probably hurt so bad, but you were not acting or being a wackadoodle. You know what I mean? And the nurses and the doctors really wanted to help you and they really wanted to work with you and they wanted to ensure that you got the best possible care. And I know it's very difficult for people who work in the medical field to really want to help people when they they want to really help people, but it's very hard when people aren't kind or nice or, oh my gosh, you remember everything. Yeah, y'all come out of the bushes. Let's chat. We're nice in here. Yes, we are. We're very nice in here. And it's a lot of fun. You were inpatient in 2 weeks. Yeah, but you were able to tell them what was going on. Yes. And you were believable. You were. And I know, how do I say this? I don't know what it feels like to have an intestinal blockage. My daughter Maggie, unfortunately, couldn't speak when she had one, but I am sure it hurt like Haiti. I mean, she could barely breathe when she had them, and we thought it was, something else. Wandering Scorpio, I'm so glad you're here. I can't wait to get to know you better. And you'll have to tell us some trucker stories because I'm sure that would be really fun. Definitely. But you're right. It's all about, that is what you're saying. And now I can't even think of the word. It's about being honest. Are you credible? That's the word. Your presentation on your behavior and your looks, but your behavior is most important. You could be like a cute dress wackadoodle, but they're going to remember the wackadoodle and nothing else. So it's just so important on how you deliver yourself, because I never want to be one of those people. I don't want to miss an opportunity because I didn't present well. When I go in stores somewhere and I'm at the checkout, I probably ask enough questions and become friends. And I find out a whole lot about everybody. It's even when I go to get my hair colored, I'm in there chit chatting with the front desk ladies, and then I'm chit chatting with some other of the hairstylists, and then my guy Tyler is like, Susie, come on, quit chit chatting, yip yapping. I could hear you. I mean, that's like the biggest one. I show up, I'm so busy talking to the front desk clerk. Like yesterday, I got a pedicure. And I did ask Shelly, my pedicure professional, I said, do you mind if I do a YouTube live while I'm here so people can see what it's like for me to get a pedicure? And she's like, nope, I'd love to. I said, would you have problems if I asked you questions about my toes and your experience with me and all that? And she's like, no, that would be so cool. So I'm going to try to set that up with my next appointment. Her and I are also friends on Facebook, and she's been doing my nails for quite some times. I don't. I thought that would be so fun because I was sitting there. There were two pillows behind my back. Oh, whoops! Almost flipped on my stool here, and I still wasn't touching. I was sitting so close to the edge of the chair that really didn't matter. I've learned how to balance myself by sitting on the edge of the pedicure chair and have my feet up there and all of those kind of things. But it's quite interesting watching me I have to like go into the tub in order to get into the chair. And then to get out, I again have to like not really jump in the tub, but I need a stool to get out because I can't get the other leg over here. So, yes, it was so nice of Shelly. Yep. Shelly does Steve's toes as well because I'll have to tell presentation at being a girlfriend. I have to tell this story. I know maybe some of you have. Susie, I'm a 25-year truck driver. I was trained by a woman named Deb in Tulsa in 1999. That was a long time ago. Sure, definitely. So you're still pretty young, which is kind of, oh, just keep it real. Oh, you can climb a bar stool like nobody's business. I was like, okay, girl. And Mr. Just Keep It Real said, can I help you? I'm like, just hold the table. Because I use the table to put weight on and stuff like that and to get down to. So it's quite a little workout if you had to. But I have known Steve since 2005. This is all about presenting yourself. And I knew him. He was married to a friend of mine. My daughter was the flower girl in his wedding. So, and he was an amazing guy. Like, oh my gosh, I would say to his ex-wife, oh my gosh, he's so nice. And he helps you and he does all of these things. And he was just so nice, and he helped her and carried her purse, and he was always kind and polite and all of these wonderful things. Unfortunately, that relationship, I think he lived with her for like I want to say 8 years because my kids were really little when they had split, and he moved back down to New Mexico. Like my, I was married to my kid's dad at the time when we were all friends, and he and my kids love Steve. Like they would do sleepovers at their house. My son, he was like 2 years old, wanted to wrestle him. And my son was a year old when they got married, but he was just a baby then. But then they were together for a long time and they always wanted my kids to spend the night. And I thought, oh, that was super sweet. Now I have no kids. Now what am I going to do? You know, that kind of thing. Never thought about Steve in a relationship prospect ever. Never, ever. So, 8 years later, Steve like disappeared off the face of the earth, and he had gotten a Facebook account, and he reached out to me. I was like shocked. My kids were so excited. They were. Caden was almost an adult, and I was just like, oh my gosh, he's alive. Like, seriously, that's how much we didn't know. And I hadn't been friends with his wife for 4 years at that point. We hadn't communicated again. Bubby Sue, it's so good to see you. Definitely. Oh, thanks for listening while you're in the chat. Seriously, you can't miss this story. Like, just keep it real says, oh my God, love me some Steve. He's amazing. So we decide, because he lives in New Mexico, and this was like after COVID. So I was at home with Maggie, and I'm like, hey, why don't we meet in Tucson? Because literally he's from a town in the middle of nowhere. And Tucson, the weather is supposed to be like 95. Let's get a hotel with a pool. And like, I have all these lists of requirements when I get a hotel room. I always want a couch or a comfy chair because I don't like to sit on the bed. I like to have back support. So, him and I that day like had met. He picked me up from the airport. We go back to the hotel room. Don't think what you're thinking, because it was a beautiful day and I wanted to get as much sun as I could. So I'm like, let's just go back. We don't need to go anywhere. I'm not hungry, any of these things. So he comes out to the pool. I get my suit on. I get dressed. I come out. He puts his suit on, and he has socks on his feet, and with his sandals. And I'm like, okay, no, you're not going down to the pool looking like that. Oh, no way. Not if you're with me. That just is a bad idea. Oh, I think we were at a comfort. Oh, at a La Quinta. We were there. And it was really nice. It was by the airport in Tucson. So he's like, no. I'm like, then you're going to have to stay up in the room. I can't. Socks with sandals. That is like one of my worst nightmares about a guy, right? All right. Exactly. No socks. You don't, or if you're going down to the pool, you wear no shoes, right? Yes, me and my couch. I need a couch. So yes, just keep it real can tell you I like wasn't sure what hotel to stay at because I needed a couch in my room. Even though we never stayed in the room, but when I do go back to the room, I have to sit down, decompress before I can go to bed. So I said, Steve, I'm going down to the pool. You're going to have to make some choices. And I'm very particular. And he came down without his shoes. I mean, with his shoes on, but no socks. And he really didn't sit too close to me, he kind of kept his back to me. Um, but yeah, that was a no deal at the hotel. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And part of that is, you got to run, jump, get on the bed with a stool, and then try to position yourself to put your back against the headboard. And it's just very uncomfortable for me. Yep. Oh, yeah. And this would be a short. That's really cute. Wandering Spirit. Scorpio, you're so funny. So Steve turned around and I looked at his feet. Oh my God. They were the most disgusting things I have ever seen. Ever seen. Oh my gosh. He had these toenails that were like curled over bear claws. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you know what? You need to go put some socks on. I can't. Why don't you take care of your feet? You need to take care of yourself. I always look at that as you'll feel better if you take good care of yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need a pedicure by any means. And it was just just a mess. So the next day, oh, and by the way, when we went to bed that evening, I said it was a king size bed. I'm like, you need to stay on that side of the bed and don't you dare touch me. Don't touch me. Keep your feet almost hanging off that side of the bed. I couldn't do it. I couldn't because it was so bad. So the next day, I called around looking for, like a nail place. And he had never been to a nail place. His toenails were like literally curved over. And I said, who did your toes the last? And when did they do that? And he's like, oh my gosh, my dad did them like a month ago. And like his nails would click when walking like on a tile floor. Yeah, it was so bad. And they were thick and they were like, oh my gosh. And I know I was dying. So he literally slept way on the other side of the bed. I slept on one side. He slept on that other side. He had to have socks on. I made him wear socks. I had socks on just in case those toes got too close to mine. There was no way that was happening. No way. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. We're staying very severely apart. Well, then the next day in the morning by 10 o'clock, I had already located a nail salon. I called them. I said, do you do really nasty looking toes? Like thick, nasty. The nail is like, I don't know, an inch. I don't know the length. I didn't get too close to his toes. And they're like, oh my God, yes, we do. And I said, are you sure? And they're like, yes. So I said to Steve, I said, get in the truck. I'm driving. And so I hopped in his pickup truck and I drove straight to that nail salon. And he had socks and shoes, but I told him he had to bring his sandals. And we walked in and she's like, yes, two people. And I'm like, no, just him. I said, you need to look at his toes. Are you sure you can do this? Are you sure? Thick, nasty 1-inch claws. She's like, oh, yes, I can do that. I'm like, are you sure? I said, have you seen them? Please tell me you can. Oh my God. She got out the drill or the grinder and she's like, is this short enough? I'm like, no, way down. And his feet are soaking. And I'm like, have you ever seen something like this before? And she's like, yes. Yeah. I'm like, do women bring their men in here to get their toenails done? Yes, yes. And by the way, if y'all think Steve has no clue about this story, he does, because he knows I love to tell it. But it's true. I would have had no clue. And he came out there. I had to take pictures of his feet, the before picture. And when he said his dad trimmed his toenails before, I'm like, your dad is fired. You will no longer, I can't be in a relationship with you if you let yourself go, because you can easily keep up on yourself. You can save money by getting your nails done, your toenails done, as opposed to buying gas station food. You know what I mean? For a couple of days. He can save his money and get this done. And when, I was so excited. I'm like, now you can go to the pool and not have to wear socks. And now you can go in the pool without your socks on. It is like, just keep it real. I told you she's blonde. I do. I'm like, I don't like it. I'm not going to date somebody who has toenails like this. And I will even pay for it. If he couldn't have paid for it, I would have done. Definitely. You cut rebar with an angle grinder. Oh, that's so funny. You work for Harbor Freight Tools. That's awesome. My dad would buy from Harbor Freight. I know my brother-in-law does. Oh, not Steve. No, no. He probably doesn't even know what Harbor Freight is. Or he looked at the magazine when it would come. He'd be like, "Oh no, this is not me." That is so funny. But yes, I'm blunt. I tell it like it is. And it is. If I don't like it, I'll let you know. And sometimes it just doesn't come out, but toenails that were curled over. And what's interesting, so I found a place for him in the city in New Mexico where he lives, which was Silver City. I found a nail salon. I'm like, you have to go every 6 weeks. This cannot get like this. It's going to make your toes look better, even though his toenails are still like nasty in their own way. But at least I can tolerate them. Yes, click, click, like the sound on the floor. Oh my gosh. You know how dogs like run on like a hardwood floor, any surface that's not carpet, you can hear their toenails. That's what Steve sounded like when the first time him and I got to meet in person, as in a potential relationship. Yes. Hey, rapper. Love you too. Wandering spirit, you're still not breathing? Oh my gosh. But yes, it is. I might maybe be judgy, but I'm really not, because that is just me. Me and my personality. Yes. Yes, it was. Because when he was married before, I never paid attention to, I knew what he looked like, but, you know, clothes are only like the surface level. When you get into the shoes, like he always wore socks, but I didn't remember that. I wasn't interested in him. He was married to her, and I was married to my husband. Never once crossed my mind. Never. Even though she thinks, but no, never. But yes, I yeah, first date. Well, because we live so far, like I lived in Wisconsin. So, and I told him before, when we were FaceTiming, I don't want to be in a long distance relationship. I want an everyday relationship, not just, living in New Mexico and living in Wisconsin, long distance relationships are really common amongst little people, but I'm too old for that long distance relationship. My kids are adults. I want every day. And hey, rapper, we love you too. Thanks for coming in and being so sweet. That's so nice. New Mexico was good to you yesterday. It's a very calm drive. Yes. And not a lot of traffic in New Mexico, for sure, in my opinion. But yeah, so I never thought what was under those socks. I'm like, thank God he was a good spirit. He still gets his toenails done every 6 weeks because he's got these really thick toenails. Um, so for somebody to manually do that, except a professional, would be very difficult, you know. So, but yeah, we fired his dad. I had him on every 6 weeks. And when we started like dating, we had I am so serious right now. Yep, I'm very serious. Yeah. Because it is. I'm probably more like just keep it real, blunt, straight to the point. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If all of those things. And Steve is such a good sport. He really is. You know, Steve has gone through a weight loss um, program where he's lost almost 50 pounds since August. And if he's wearing a t-shirt that he did when he was 205 pounds, if he puts it on right now, looks like a dress. I'm like, oh my gosh, get that dress off. But it does, you know. It it is a dress. Wandering Scorpio, yes. Definitely, it would be fun if there were more people in here. It would be so nice because it would be fun because I can't wait to hear your stories about things that make you go, like deal breaker. No, but if he wouldn't have gotten those nails done, it would have been a deal breaker. And no, I would not have missed it because our relationship didn't go, we weren't really there 100% in. This was to make us ensure that we're 100% in. And I will tell you, within 6 months he had moved back to Wisconsin from New Mexico, and our relationship is just so easy and it's so good. And even how he gets his haircut, I tell him, dude, that's too short. You're starting to look like an old man. And I'm like, oh, I have to text Alia, like the woman who does his hair. Okay, here's the deal. He's got like a roll on the back of his head. Yeah. And you know, some people, and he was a really big guy. Well, the roll that was at the back of his head, which is like skin, I think. But when he was larger, it was bigger. I I'm like, oh yeah, okay. When you cut his hair, make sure you don't trim it too short back there, because then you can see the roll in the back of his neck. And I think he looks better if nobody can see the roll. Like we all know he has it. And yeah, I'm on him all the time. Dude, you got to trim your face hair. Oh, you're twisting, you know, he's twisting his eyebrows because his eyebrows are too long. I'm like, you got to trim those eyebrows. And I'll do it too. I notice everything from a giant hair coming from the top of his nose to everything. And he don't care. I'm like, I would be so embarrassed if I had a ginormous nose hair coming from my nose, let me tell you. And if Steve wouldn't tell me that I had a giant hair growing out of my nose, deal breaker. It really is. Wandering Spirits, be sure to get selfish pics every chance. A video of good conversations. Marriage is awesome. Yes, it is. And, I shouldn't say we're empty nesters. My adult son lives here with us, but he's gone on the weekends. So it would be fun for Steve and I to really have a great conversation and banter. And yes, if I said to him, "Oh, I have a question for you, Steve, let's go into details. Tell me what was almost a deal breaker before it even got started." He will tell you it was his toes. And then, Steve, what happened from there? Oh, yeah. And I'm still on it because I want him, like, this is the way I look at him. I want him to be that trophy husband that women are jealous of. And so I always want him to, like, look his best. I'm not afraid of women making comments about him or just loving on him because he's my man and I'm proud of him. But it's kind of it's a lot. Wandering spirit, 18-month widower at age 44. It happened in an instance. Absolutely. And I'm so sad for your loss, truly. But she made you who you are today, and you're sweet and you're funny, and you really do. I mean, driving over the road has got to be so relaxing for you, and just think all the people you get to meet all over the country. And Steve is young, he's 46. Like, he likes older women. He likes cougars. Let's just say that. But yes, just keep it real. You're absolutely right. But beauty is only skin deep. He's a wonderful human on the inside. He really is. And yes, he's a wonderful human. He is. Just make sure you keep your men fed and watered, and you'll be all good. He's a wonderful human, most definitely. But Wandering Spirit, your story was so funny. Tell that more often. I'll tell more stories. They're very blunt, and I'm not afraid of anything. And as you'll all learn more about me, yes, maybe I'm focused on the way people look, but but that's what people remember the most, as opposed to what an amazing purpose and what an amazing person you are on the inside. And I know many of you have never seen Just Keep It Real, but it's sweet and beautiful and soothing as her soft little southern voice. She's just as beautiful as her amazing voice because her heart, she's so kind. And her and I are very different in some of our personalities. A lot, we're very much alike. And she's adorable. Just so much fun. And yeah, it is. It's all about what people are in the inside. And right now, I drink nothing but coffee and eat like crap. Now there's a burger. You are 100%. Yeah. It's true. I'm sure. It's very sad. It's very lonely and it's very hard. But I'm so glad you found us. If you ever need to be chippered up, you'll have to email us. I would love to connect and have you tell your story, because it takes a hero to get through something like that. Very, very much fun. I would love to hear that. Yes. Don't mess with my marriage or my kids ever. No, I always and that's true. Don't. Mm-mm. Don't mess with my kids or talk ill about Steve. Yeah, I might be little, but I am very direct. That's what I couldn't get about Michelle. You know, when we had Michelle, she would talk about, oh, she's this roundhouse kick girl kind of thing. It was, she's just crazy. And with her last encounter, I swear she probably paid this chick to beat her up just so she had something for, had a FOIA report or something. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. How is it you're not even in rehab one day and somebody's already beating the crap out of you? Absolutely. Wandering Scorpio, did you know I only watch 6 lives and I only subscribe to 20 people? Wow. That's really nice, though. I subscribe to a lot of people, I should say, but there are some that I enjoy listening. Like if I want drama in the drama community, I have 3 or 4 that are strictly drama. And then, I have my bestie, Just Keep It Real. Yes. Have you been into Just Keep It Real's channel? She is so sweet and she tells the Michelle stories so much better than I do, for sure. I can only comparison of that, but we do really love you and I'm so excited. But no, I would love for you to come on a live with me and we can do it together and you could tell us your story about who you are, your amazing wife, and how you have been able to get through um, that tragic event, how you could get through that, and how it made you a better person. Because I'm telling you, just by you commenting in the chat, you really show what a good, great human you really are. So sweet and so kind. But Wandering Scorpio, definitely. It was so good to see you here. Don't be a super speeder like me. Be safe on the road, and we will catch you soon. Love you, my dear. Um, but pretty much my whole thing, and I might sound really self centered or horrible, but I hope not. He I'm very all about presenting yourself from the first time I meet you, confidence and how you are confident and how you carry yourself and how fun you are. Like, I love to have fun. I love a good laugh. I like somebody with a sense of humor. Um, does anything really offend me? No. When strangers don't offend me, friends, they can. But I really enjoy amazing people, and I will always remember those that caught my attention. And I can tell you, anybody when I was working in corporate America, and I the people that I hired, they are still very, I remember I used to call them my dream team. If I owned my own business, this is who I'd want on my team. And it's just because they were amazing people, and I don't do anything less than amazing. But um, just keep it real. First time we met in actual person, yes, at the Waffle House. That was so fun. It really, truly was. It was a great time. And traveling and road tripping, I love to do. I know Just Keep It Real does. She's more fly by the seat of your pants. If you get off, if you get lost, it's okay. It'll get better. If I get lost, I get into a panic and I am like, oh my gosh, where do I go next? I have to pull over, stop, reprogram, and reroute in my brain so I can feel confident that I get to point B. Where Just Keep It Real is like, if you don't get to point B, you won't, it's okay. You could do point B another day. Just Keep It Real goes, you're really not that short, huh? Exactly. I mean, and you're tiny. I mean, you're like tall, tiny, like taller than me. But yeah, I know. Who would have thunk? I thought she would be bigger. And nope, she was this tiny little thing, not much taller than myself. But her husband is very tall. And he has like a southern accent, like a manly southern accent. But just keep it real. Are you going live today? We're not really sure yet. I don't have to make dinner tonight for all those wondering minds, because tonight is carry out Thursday, and we always carry out Mexican food from our favorite restaurant, and it's really awesome. Yes, you want point A to point B, and I'm like, but there's also a part C. Exactly. And that's why our friendship is so balanced. And I hope people don't realize that I am a judgy human or think less of people who, I don't have a lot of money. There's absolutely no way, but you can make things look good without having money to do that. And I hope people don't think like that I'm judging your character by money, and I'm not like that at all. I judge what I see, and we all do, but we don't always realize that. And I think that no matter how tall you are or how short you are, you, in my opinion, what's on the inside is what radiates on the outside. And always just keep that in mind. How you are on the inside really shows on the outside. But it looks like I've been chit chatting for over an hour. I'll have to tell you another story another day. But yes, toenails 101. Make sure your man has his feet pedicured. And if he doesn't go to a salon to get it pedicured, maybe you could assist him as well. But that was my thought of the day, but not really. It was all about presenting and how things like that impact relationships, like me, probably. And you're all probably thinking I'm like wackadoodle here, but no. But it was fun today. I had fun chit chatting with all of you. You were all so sweet. Yeah, like Wandering Scorpio said, it would be nice to have more people in here, but we'll have to work at that. I might have to do some marketing, those kind of things. But, anyways, I will let you all go. Enjoy your afternoon. Make sure you subscribe to Just Keep It Real. She's amazing. And hopefully, we will see you there. I love you guys very much. Enjoy your rest of your day. Bye.